My 28th husband, 30M, slept with my best friend of 17 years, and she claims he took advantage of her. Hey everyone. This is my first time posting and I'm doing it from mobile, so please forgive any formatting issues. My husband, we'll call him Fred, and I have been together for approximately 6 years. We've been married since 2014. I've always considered our relationship ideal. We never fought, we always talked everything out like adults. We always had fun, we were easygoing, and not to sound cliché, but we were great friends. Recently, I found out from my high school best friend, we'll call her Isabella, that she and Fred had romance one night barely 2 months after Fred and I got married. She was my matron of honor at my wedding. They both never spoke a word of it to either of their spouses. Now that it's out, they are both blaming alcohol for their poor judgment. Isabella initially claimed that she was silly, he offered her more drinks, and then took advantage of her even though she said no. I had a hard time digesting this, because he is not the aggressive type, but she has never lied to me before, so I took her word for it. He didn't deny the fact that they slept together, but he claimed it was untrue, that he forced himself on her and she only started to panic about what happened after the fact. He was extremely apologetic and said he didn't tell me because he didn't want me to feel the hurt that he has been feeling for over a year. I asked him to move out of our house in September. In an effort to rekindle my broken friendship with Isabella, I planned a visit to her home out of state in October. I was worried about what could happen while I was out there, thinking worst case scenario, we'd argue about what happened and things would be awkward until I went home. I was wrong. We go out drinking one night and she ends up inviting 3 total strangers back to her apartment. She ends up sleeping with one of them and another one tries to force himself on me. I have to listen the next morning while she calls her husband to tell him what she did while she pleads, sobbing into the phone. I'm now finding it difficult to believe her version of events with Fred. However, even if it was totally consensual, it does not dismiss the fact that it happened. They both participated. They did not use protection, and they both covered it up by keeping it from their spouses. From what I have been told, they did not develop a relationship, and it was a one-time mistake. Since my visit in October, she has not spoken to me at all, despite various attempts on my part to see if she's okay, how she's doing, etc. She has either removed or blocked me from all social media. I don't know if she's ashamed, or for some reason beyond me, is angry with me. Since this came out 4 months ago, Fred has been trying non-stop to get me to forgive him, and this is where my dilemma starts. Now that my raging anger is starting to subside, I don't know whether or not I should even give him the time of day, let alone attend counseling with him. I truly feel that what we had was special, but I'm not sure we can ever have that again. I currently feel like I never want him to touch me or be intimate with me ever again, but I am starting to really feel his absence. I have never been the type of girl to question my significant other's whereabouts, who he's texting, etc., and I don't want to become that person either. I do think he is truly sorry for what happened, but I'm having a hard time deciding where to draw the line. Some people say, marriage takes work or you can work through anything, but at what point do you put your foot down and say I refuse to be treated this way by anyone, ever? I just don't know if this would be giving up too easily, or if I'd feel justified filing for divorce. I guess I'm just looking for some words of wisdom, someone to share a similar situation they've been in, or perhaps just a new perspective. Too long, didn't read. Husband cheated on me with my best friend. She says he took advantage of her when they were both silly. I go out drinking with her and witness her sleep with total strangers. Not sure I can believe her word now. She stops talking to me. Should I work through it with him or file for divorce?
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
He did this after 2 months of marriage. Yes, marriages take work. But after 2 months, he should still be in the honeymoon phase, completely loyal, etc. If he could do that to you after being married only 2 months, what will come after 2 years? 10. My best friend took her husband back after he cheated. They went to counseling together and she felt like they figured some things out. They had a very happy marriage. What will work depends on the two of you. My husband is the kind that figures if he says he's sorry it's in the past and I should forget, which made him feel free to do whatever he wanted so long as he said he was sorry when I caught him. My 22F boyfriend, 22M, of 2.5 years told me he cheated on me a year ago while through hiking the Appalachian Trail. Am I forgiving too soon? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend told me that he cheated on me a year ago while through hiking the AITA, deeply regrets it and wants to do everything he can to help make our relationship stronger / work through his issues. Am I forgiving him too soon? Sorry for being so long. This is my first personal post on Reddit. My boyfriend and I are both about to graduate college. We have been together for 2.5 years. BF struggles with sadness and in February 2019 decided to take a semester off to through hike the Appalachian Trail as a way to figure himself out. Our relationship was very solid up to that point. BF is always loving, intelligent, a good listener, supportive of me during my parents' divorce, adventurous, and independent. Of course we would miss each other, but I wanted to do my best to be supportive and assured him I would write letters, we would call, etc. I had had success with long distance in previous relationships and with him before, so I had the typical sadness of having to be apart but also pride in him for wanting to complete this dream goal of his. The following months of long distance, February to June 2018, was challenging due to limited communication, lack of cell service in woods. We were both busy, but overall fulfilling, and I thought we had come out of it stronger. I hiked with him for a week over spring break. We would send voice messages to each other, listen to audiobooks separately and then talk about them, send mail, etc. He was still struggling with sadness while being high functioning once he came back. But after a brief adjustment period we got right back into our groove and we really grew together. Fast forward to last month, we are quarantining together, goofing around in his bed, and out of the blue tells me that he had cheated on me with a girl that he had hiked with for a few weeks a year ago, May 2019. I had ended up meeting this girl when I met up with him while he was hiking near my town and went to see him and meet his friends, and I had naively gotten to know her as we all spent time together over a weekend. Little did I know they had unprotected romance a week prior. I cried a lot when he told me. He cried too. I've only seen him tear up before, and he constantly told me how much he ducked up and regretted it. I didn't really talk to him for a week while I told him to really think about the fact that he betrayed me, put me at risk due to unprotected romance, and then lied to me by not telling me for a year. I am close to his mom and talked to her about it after he called her sobbing and scared of losing me, and also have been talking to my close friends about it. I wrote him a letter detailing everything that I thought was ducked up about his behavior and how if we are to continue our relationship he has to put in a lot of work to earn back my trust. BF since has started consistently talking to a therapist, got tested for ST and STDs, and seems to be taking initiative to address his behavior, and as a result we have been talking through everything. I believe BF that he regrets it and that he says he won't ever do it again. We are young but we both agree we feel like family to each other, and BF talks about how he can see an amazing future with me and is scared of losing that possibility. I am typically a very confident person and know my own worth, but it is hard for me to stay angry once I have released all my emotions. Oddly we feel closer to each other now more than ever, or maybe not oddly because the lie has finally been uncovered. It has only been a few weeks since he told me this news. Am I being too forgiving? He says he understands when I say he cannot take my forgiving / laid back nature for granted, but maybe our quarantine situation is warping my judgment? Am I too dependent on keeping romantic intimacy during this uncertain time, or is it worth working through it? I guess only time will tell. If you read all the way through this, thank you. It felt good to write it all out. He waited a year to fess up and is just now getting tested. At this point it's a lost cause if he had an STI or not because he's already infected you. However, seeing as he cheated on you, I would really try to figure out if you can trust him again. If he wants go out with friends, will you look for signs of a female coming along? Will you be comfortable leaving him to his own devices again? How will you overcome the fear that he could cheat on you again? There's actually something really sinister about people who confess out of guilt significantly after the fact. They're counting on you brushing it off because it's ancient history and they've changed so much and look how good things have been. But if you knew the truth, you likely wouldn't have wasted your life on them in the first place. If you really want to move on, it's your choice, but take time. Get angry. Really understand the cruelty he bestowed on you and the choices he took from you. Me, 28F, with my husband, 36M, 10 years. My husband was put on life support today and I found out via his phone that he has been cheating on me the entire time, including with mutual friends. My husband is fighting for his life on life support after taking the medication Smiles, N-bomb, and I had to check his phone to find out what he had in fact taken. I find out he is a romance addict that has been cheating our entire relationship, and some of our friends have known the whole time. Friends that were in our wedding party. He supposedly loves me according to everyone, but he is addicted to romance. I obviously have not confronted him as he is on life support. They are bringing him out of it tomorrow and I just want to let him have it as soon as he comes to. I won't even see him in the hospital. I am so bitter and in shock. I thought maybe he slipped up a few times on silly nights when we were fighting, but had no clue to the extent of his betrayal and depravity. I live in North Carolina and all I can think is to sue him for adultery because you can do that here. One of his mistresses that happens to be a friend of ours admitted whole thing to me. I thought my husband was my best friend. A decade of my life gone. I don't know what to do. I feel sick. What would you do? Too long, didn't read. I found out while my husband was on life support, he has been cheating on me for a decade and is a romance addict. What would you do? Start talking to Alewa. But first make sure you have a copy of the texts, pics etc. back that poop up. Then start preparing for divorce. When he is semi-recovered and able to handle himself, serve him with the papers. While you are absolutely the wronged party here and deserve 100% of the sympathy and concern, if you give in to your urge to give it to him right when he comes to, you will likely be vilified for it by mutual friends/relations or possibly in court. People get all weird over sick or near dying people and tend to forget they can be bad or horrible in any way. If you give it a bit of time, you can skip that issue. The best thing you could possibly do is cut off contact with him, and, if you do decide to sue, pursue a lawyer and file for divorce and the lawsuit. The more mature and stable and ahead of him you are when it comes to this divorce, or I guess adultery lawsuit, the better chance you have of coming out of it with whatever sort of thing you're looking for, be it him out of your life, or alimony, kids, etc. Yelling at him isn't going to help. Get your friend on record for her confession. In fact, if possible, record all evidence of his infidelity. This will help the divorce process immensely. Lawyer up and hit the gym. There's no reason to waste any more time on this butthole, so hire somebody to deal with that bull poop for you.